Alright, necessary preamble and all that stuff I like to do. So, with Final Fantasy Tactics completed, with Kingdom Hearts 2 completed, I needed some other games to fill my Monday and Tuesday slots for streaming and playing. I've been kind of working on a Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrun, but especially as a weekly thing, that's a bit rough for me, so after talking it over with my almost manager, gonna be moving that to Saturdays and alternating it with playing with my nephew, especially since he's playing through Kingdom Hearts now. We might do occasional Minecraft dungeons instead as well, the stuff that he enjoys playing with me. But in any case, I was going to go ahead and start Fire Emblem today, but I realized I didn't have an adapter for HDMI, which is the only thing my capture card accepts for older systems, GameCube and Super Nintendo. I did have the capability of streaming it before because my old capture card has S-Video, and I did have an S-Video adapter for those systems, but didn't have HDMI, so I needed to order one. So I'll go ahead and start that next Monday, and today we're going to be doing my Trials of Mana New Game Plus playthrough. So when Trials of Mana was first released, I grabbed it. I should go back in time, actually, and explain. Trials of Mana, as it was known back in the day to fans in America who were chomping at the bit for it, Secret of Mana 2, or Seiken Densetsu 3, was one of my favorite games near the end of the high school era when we started to get the internet and could, get our hands on these ROMs and emulate the one game so we couldn't get in America on the Super Nintendo. I absolutely loved this. I love Secret of Mana as well, but its sequel, follow-up here, was really amazing to me. The fact that you have 6 characters, you get to choose who is the star, you get to select 2 other characters, and that changes the story. Was really big to me. Doesn't change it a huge amount, of course. Most of the game is the same, and there are only 3 different endings, which largely only vary by who you pick as your main character. So there are 3 different paths. Again, that mostly just affects the very start prologue with whatever character you start with, and then the ending. But it's still a lot of fun to have the different varieties there. And in addition to that, you have the 4 different final classes you can be of light, 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 dark, 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 or dark light, So when the remake came out, I was super thrilled for it. Got it nearly immediately. My friend, actually, Jinx Black, also fan of this game, ended up buying me my copy as a gift, so I was fine with that. Beat it, and then I decided to start recording, streaming a New Game Plus playthrough. And that was almost 2 years ago that I started that, and I recorded 2 videos of it, and they're up on my YouTube. And then I just a lot of things happened, and most of my projects I was working on at the time, I just had to drop, and I was adjusting to a new environment because I moved shortly after that. So the project just kind of dropped off, and I lost it. And I always kept telling myself I needed to return to it, but the farther I was from that project, the harder it was to pick it up, especially in an RPG where you've saved in the middle. So I have no idea where I'm even at in my old playthrough, so rather than try and continue that and force people to look through my, if they wanted to see what happened previously, look through, we're just going to start it all over again. So I'm going to do, again, a full New Game Plus playthrough, which I haven't done. I only did the first playthrough, and I was planning to do the New Game Plus, as I say, record it all, so I haven't seen too much of the New Game Plus otherwise. But I did my first playthrough with the 3 characters on the left. Those are my favorite characters in just about the order it shows. So this time I'm going to use the 3 characters on the right, just as I did in my first playthrough. It's otherwise probably going to be exactly the same. So yeah, I was in Chapter 3 with them. I did a save here before doing a couple things. This was a test run I was doing with the New Game Plus, I believe. Or maybe it wasn't with New Game Plus. Regardless, we'll go ahead and get started here. I don't know. I'm not really big on challenging gameplay, but since it is New Game Plus and I'm pretty used to this, maybe I'll just go hard and see how it is. I think you can adjust this. Oh yeah, we get the Love Man Chain ability from that, so hard shouldn't be any problem. Those are the chain abilities for those characters, but I don't think that I can use them. Because they're only for the characters that they're for. Alright, we're going to start with Kevin. Kevin is the strongest fighter in the game. Never been one of my favorite characters because of mostly the fact that he is just... his beast man form kind of plays with something. I'm doing well. How about yourself, Alex?
I'm Charlotte, resident beauty of Wendell.
Charlotte's probably the least popular character, especially with her English voicing, though some people say that the Japanese is just as bad, so in that way it's accurate, perhaps. Never has bothered me that much, but I apologize for everyone watching is going to be beating their heads on the ground every time Charlotte talks. Weather can do that. Well, I hope that the stream helps improve your mood then.
Persecuted by humankind, beastmen were forced to live a life of seclusion in the dark woods of Duskmoon Forest. Only one managed to stand up against the oppression. He became king. Under his rule, the beastmen banded together and created the kingdom of Ferolia. There, he and his kin waited for a chance to get revenge on the humans who drove them into hiding.
Well, isn't his furry majesty himself? How do you do this fine night? Ah, finally! The time is upon us, sire. With the coming shift in the world's mana power, now's the perfect opportunity. For what? For us! All to get back at those nasty humans!
Do I know?
Yes, it is. There are 3 different paths.
Oh, how silly of me!
And the final boss, Gauntlet, there's like a series of like the last 4 to 5 bosses, I can't remember exactly how many, are tied to which of the characters you choose. Kevin and Charlotte are the Dark Lich route. Angela and Duran are the Dragon Emperor route. And Hawkeye and Reese are the Archdemon route.
I'll leave, but if you change your mind, my dark spells are always at your service.
The order you choose your characters in, and the characters you choose have small effects on the story because of their involvement, but the only things that really change depending on the character chosen depend on your main character and for their intro, and then of course the final part. Once you've completed the near end game quest of dealing with the Benevodons, you have to go on a quest to find out where the final dungeon is, because no one knows where it is, and where you go depends on which of the 3 routes you're on, which, again, depends on the main character, which main character you've chosen.
Kevin was the one and only son of Ferolia's king. The young boy's human mother had long since abandoned her half-blood child, leaving him to be raised in the forest by the beastmen. Due to his Spartan upbringing, Kevin never connected with
Apparently,
others.
I have an
He
update
was
to do to
raised as his
this.
father's successor and
I'll do that
trained
between my
by
streams today.
infancy, leaving little time
I
for
do agree.
friendships.
That was always a
One
fascinating
night, the young prince
idea
came
to me
across
that
a
you
stray
have,
mother wolf and her living pup, Karl.
you know, parts of, at
Finding a
least the
true
ending of
friend
the
in the
storyline,
village,
that everything was all
the boy's
interconnected,
frozen
and so a
heart
lot of the same,
began to
you see
thaw.
the same stuff. So it's mostly the same game, but you have different, but you have different parts of it, especially the most important ending parts determined by who you choose. Being able to build a team
What was that
of a
again,
selection of
Karl?
characters is fun too.
But still a wolf. Don't bark like a dog. Here, howl. Like this. We're alike. You and me. A little wolf who acts like a dog. A beast man with human blood in my veins. And neither of us have a mom. Don't worry, Karl. Got you. And I'll protect you, since your mom can't now.
The crazy thing is, I always felt that his beginning was almost the.
Karl.
I'm not as much of an animal person. I like animals, but I'm not hugely big on animals. So it always felt to me like the least
No, Karl. Can't fight you.
tragic of the. Of the openings.
Stop! What are you doing?
I'm always in favor of saving the animals if we're talking like Super Metroid type. I do know, but I mean just compared to his whole quest is to this mad thing to
Stop!
resurrect. You know, it's his only friend, so definitely sad and tragic. I don't want to downplay that. But when you compare to the betrayal and human intrigue and everything involved with everyone else and their own lost parents and stuff, the fact that he's driven on this quest to find a magic that'll bring his dead pet back to life. It's more than that to him, of course. It's like his brother. But I look at that from perhaps too human a perspective. But it definitely isn't the same for him. But even so, it's just depends on how you look at it. At least as a kid, I always didn't feel that it had the same resonance as the human dramas. Also, doesn't help that Kevin is just, because of his being raised by Beastmen roots,
How did...
they play a bit too much into his feeling like a simpleton, and so it, but even makes this little grave for it. This looks, the little bit of flowers and stuff he has on there too, yeah. It definitely feels a little bit, resonates a little bit more in the 3D remake.
Kevin made a grave by the flower patch they'd often visited. Racked with guilt, there he wept for his lost friend.
So sorry, Karl. I'm sorry.
I don't mind voice acting cut-throughs through my playthrough, but there's going to be one nice thing about this one with the game narrating everything for me.
Eventually, however, he made it back to the palace. But nothing was the same.
Karl. Couldn't protect my friend. I couldn't stop Myself. Beastman blood. Awakened. But why did I transform? Why? Why now? King might know something.
Couple of wishes is really good to find at this point. Can't go into that room. So since this is a new game plus, the map is going to have a lot more information on it, especially in the form of yeah, it can't go that way either, so still very restricted where we can go. But the map is going to have chest locations and such on it to make them easier to find. All the little cactus things should be on the map as well. Now, when the game released, they may have already patched it, but when I first started playing this game, I was looking into maybe speedrunning it as well, and one of the things they found was that through a combination of jumping, rolling, and attacking, you could clip through here and get up to a point you're not supposed to get an endgame weapon for Kevin. That was pretty cool. I think I managed it once, but they probably have patched it since then because they've been working pretty hard on a lot of that kind of patching. His Majesty is out, left with that weird fellow that just showed up at the castle. Strange, huh? It's kind of nice. One of the nicest things about this remake is that they kept the base part of the game the same, which, you know, means in Super Nintendo era that it's slightly obtuse in directions and there wasn't much in the way of a journal or any description. But here they put it on the travel on easy mode by giving you specific directions on where you're supposed to go.
By order of the king, the Beastmen forces are
All those little
hereby
navigation
sent out
things,
to take
especially
over
on the
human
maps.
settlements. Our first target is the holy city, Wendell.
And with that in mind, it wouldn't be too hard for me to pick up the playthrough I'd started of this 2 years ago.
The humans for what they've
But I really feel like giving it a fresh start.
Once we take their precious holy city, we'll have already dealt a serious blow to those weaklings. They'll be shaking in their boots. Yeah!
Yeah, you have to go in through there. I don't think they'll let me get there to get that chest yet. But I'm going to look. Nope. That's... yeah. The only problem with this is that I want to get all the chests, but a lot of them they don't let you get until you're come here on your second trip. Way later in the game. Which is why there's an endgame weapon for you near the area.
Princeling? Your old man picked me to lead the Beastmen to victory. He trusts me with his invasion plan, not you. How does it feel to be a waste of space, huh?
Ludgar is actually a really good character for his in his design and such.
Huh?
His motivations and his backstory when you learn it. One of those characters with a very good reason for acting like a jerk.
I know that voice.
Well done, Cormand.
It's an honor to fulfill the wishes of the king. Tell me, were you impressed by my dark magic then?
Corrupting the will of a tiny pup to attack my son is child's play. No matter. It induced Kevin's transformation as planned. With no more attachments to keep him from training, my son will become a weapon. I have no more need of you. Leave.
Wait! Majesty.
You beast!
Egads! Just
Stop right there, coward!
Yes. Use that hatred I see in your eye. Bend it to your will, and let it fuel your beastman power. Never lose it.
Shut up!
Foolish boy. Know your place. You called yourself Death Devourer, did you not?
Oh, yes, indeed, Your Majesty.
I leave my son to you.
Understood, sire.
Kevin is the highest offense character by a pretty good margin, so he's generally the primary character in speedruns of both the original game and the remake here. For the early speedrunners, it was incredibly good that, let's see. Yes, I know. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Okay, abilities. We equipped them. That's right. Been too long. Well, all the abilities I have unlocked because of this. Okay. We definitely want 300 XP. They are just about... I think there are a couple that are slightly shorter, but it's not a very huge deal. Like, especially if you're talking in a speedrun setting, the main base of the game, the abilities your characters have, make a much bigger deal on how much... I almost think that that might be the next best thing. The effects you have a much bigger effect on the speed of the game than your starting area. I think that Kevin's is actually one of the quickest. We're just going to save over this. Can't get through there yet, huh? Too bad.
Spare me! I was merely following His Majesty, the King of Ferolia's orders. Wait. I've come to you with an offer. Wouldn't you like to know how to bring your little Karl back to life?
Huh?
Shh, listen. Ferolian forces are on their way to Windle as we speak. You need to find the Priest of Light who lives there. Why? Because he knows how to bring back the dead.
You lied!
Oh, now does this look like the face of a liar? You cannot wait! Ludger's guards have already left. If you dally, they may do away with the priest before you arrive.
Where's Wendell? Where?
It's this way, Your Highness. Now, you must make for Mintus. It's just outside the Dusk Moon Forest. And from there, you can cross the sea to the city of Jad. Windle is quite close to that location. So don't dawdle, or Ludger will have complete control of Windle before you even arrive. Understand? Try to stay out of his sight. Okay? In fact, I shouldn't be seen here with you either. I'll take my leave. Goodbye and good luck, young prince.
Karl. Wait for me. Priest of Light in Windle will tell me how to bring you back. Still my best friend. Karl. That coward is no father. He must be the reason Mom left me behind. Is she alive? I want to see her.
Kevin burned with hatred for his father and shame for the feral blood in his veins that made him deliver the final misguided blow to his only friend. As the Ferolian troops left the castle, the young prince was hot on their heels. He had to get to Wendell and ask the Priest of Light to bring Karl back to life.
Yeah, this happened in the original too. He doesn't take a boat, he swims all the way. You never get to do that in the game though. Anytime you have to travel by sea, you have to take a boat. Which I guess is semi-justified by the fact that you pick up party members who can't follow you by swimming, but... The Beastmen armies are carried everywhere by the Great Eagles. I'm pretty satisfied with them. They're not, definitely not cutting edge, but they do a decent job of keeping the art style and cartoony nature of the originals and putting them in a 3D format. There's some certain parts where, like, stiffness of the hair and, particular designs of the models definitely feel a little weird. Hair in particular is the thing that I feel they could have maybe done a better job with because it looks so stiff on some of the models. It just looks a bit weird, but overall I'm quite satisfied.
to Ferolia. Don't
Body hair,
resist
like on Ludgar's
the
chest there in
King
particular.
makes.
Those are the things that bother me, and that captain there.
Ferolian forces have taken the town and closed the
Look like
docks.
weird decorations
Now my
rather
ship's
than the
under
body
bomb
hair it's
until
supposed to
who
be
knows
because
when.
it's just so thick and stiffly animated. Unanimated, I should say, stiffly. Stiff and unanimated as well as being thick.
Can't let beastmen find me, but I have to go to Wendell. For Karl.
Okay, where is that chest? It's underneath the stairs, I think. Yeah, there we are. Alright, and then little cactus. Can we not get him yet because we haven't found the first one? I think that's the case. Okay, we can't buy any weapons or anything because the beastmen control the city. We can go around and talk to the other party members hidden at various points, except for Charlotte, who never really makes it here to Jad. She's the one with the most significant starting difference. Yeah.
This town is caught up in a war it never wanted. It's the same story everywhere you go in the world these days. Like my homeland. What on earth is going on?
Yeah.
Beastmen of Ferolia look like humans during the day, but at night, they transform into animals. Don't leave the house after dark. You hear? Hey, if you're trying to leave the city, night is actually best. Once the beastmen transform, they lose their better judgment. The whole lot of them tend to get together and brawl amongst themselves until dawn. It's easier to sneak out of the city then. Good luck.
Wait for night. Sleep at the inn until then. Just wish our guards weren't the ones causing trouble.
No chest in here. We'll talk to Reese since she's here.
Pardon me. My younger brother is missing, and I must find him as soon as possible.
I love that they actually let you lie to her.
Can't see. I see. Thank you anyway.
Yeah. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever get that. Secret of Evermore was a very special beast. The only game actually made by Squaresoft of America. The Squaresoft American branch. Let's see. Are there any other chests around? There's some items. 6 lucre. Yes, Evermore will be nevermore forevermore. Not that I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'd love to see a 3D toaster dog. Those aren't breakable. Okay. Looks like I guess that's all I can do here, except for sleeping. Maybe find the other characters and talk to them, but nah. Do I have any seeds? Oh, I do have some seeds. Oh, Karl, that's right. I still have some leftover those seeds, but I don't think they turn into stuff that will do any good for me. Oh, you can do multiple at once now. That's right. Ooh, a ring. I have all the items left over from my previous playthrough. Oh, that's right, I have cookies to increase experience even more. Oh, I'd totally forgotten an incense that I can activate as well. I'd totally forgotten about the New Game Plus and everything. Okay, still only have that. Don't have any helms. I have all my rings. Fills CS gauge while walking. Cancels out shrink attacks, which actually could be useful in certain areas. Cancel out burn and freezing. Halves damage of various types. Cancel out Petrify, but cannot equip to current class. Huh? That's interesting. I'll go ahead and do the Cactus Ring to fill the CS gauge. Can do more with that. I should go ahead and do my training too. Let's see. Going to boost up my strength as much as possible. No, we don't have a copy of Evermore. That was one of the ones that our uncle loaned to us. Of course, I have lots of SNES ROMs, but don't have that for the actual Super Nintendo. It's not on the Classic either. It's kind of funny. The whole point of this quest is to teach you that you can, the day and night cycle is a thing in the game, and you can choose to rest until nightfall if you want to take advantage of that. But they don't even give you the choice in this game, I guess, because too many people complained about having trouble figuring it out for some reason. So they just automatically sleep you until nightfall and don't give you the chance to sleep a whole day. It's been a long time since I played Evermore. I could do a playthrough of that sometime. Yeah, I'm very certain that you can't get any of the little cactuses till you find the first one. What does the hard mode mod do besides general making it hard? There another one? Yeah, that's right. That's the control for that. Slightly, it was the basic attack, jump, and roll buttons are the same as Kingdom Hearts, so that's not a problem. But things like targeting and sprinting are done by the actual sticks, pressing what they call R3 and L3. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, I know about that. I've seen that glitch before. Don't really know how to do it myself anyway, so wouldn't be concerned about that. Okay, that's the way towards the waterfall. We'll be going that way later anyway, so... Invisible force is blocking the way, so we can't go there.
Can't get through. What is this? Better find another way in.
That's a sign. That's what it wants me to click on. I always thought there were chests here, but there are no chests, which makes sense, because if you're trying for collection after the city gets destroyed, you wouldn't have access to that. I just summarized what she says, at least. Used to be able to go through Cascade Cavern to the other side of the lake. Unfortunately, Wendell's closed it off to keep their city safe. Curses, I managed to get away from Chad, but now I'm stuck here because of the barrier. I'll never get home to Wendell. Take down the barrier? Hey, buddy, if you figure out, let me know. Gonna spend the night here, I guess. Finding my home is a problem for future me. You could stay the night here, too. Maybe the barrier will magically disappear overnight. You never know. Weirder things have been known to happen in RPGs. Okay, that's interesting.
A strange light was floating over the lake. Maybe it'll appear tonight, too.
This is actually one of the harder to figure out sections in the original game, because you have to talk to multiple people like that, and you don't know who exactly they are. They expect you to talk to, everyone in town. Pointing out exactly who you're supposed to is a really nice quality of life in the remake here. For this situation especially. So shared experience for alchemy and weapons means that when you use a weapon, you'll get experience for the alchemy you have equipped, or you kill an enemy with it, and vice versa. You kill an enemy with alchemy, you still get experience for whatever weapon you have equipped. So that does sound useful. It's the thing they borrowed from Sword of Manna that I found a little troublesome was always trying to keep up all of your experience on magic and weapons. Little easier in Evermore because you had fewer weapons and fewer characters to level them with, but... Not a huge fan overall of too many attempts to normalize powerful things and nerf them. At least with games I'm really familiar with. It's been long enough with Evermore that I probably wouldn't even notice. Evermore was a generally reasonably easy game with grinding anyway.
What the? A light. What? Flying light? What was it? Never seen anything like that.
Yeah. I had somebody watching my Worlds Collide videos ask in the comments about Final Fantasy VI T Edition, which is a huge mod for Final Fantasy VI that changes it into a whole new game, adds a huge amount of stuff, and asked if I was interested in it. And I've looked at it, but one of the things I'm not interested in was that they went really hard to totally rebalance the game in a manner that makes it new, and especially nerfs quite a lot of things that were considered overpowered, including character growth from equipping espers, which, magic power was all you needed. You slapped that on your characters, made them powerful, taught them spells, and they were invincible, but just getting rid of it entirely destroys kind of what the game was about. They don't find any other way to rebalance it, so just get rid of it. It's like, okay, if you don't want to play with that, you don't have to, but making it a focus of the mod was other things too, but just one of the other main things is that they just added way too many side quests and new things that you could do and stuff, making it too big of a game. Like I think I've mentioned before, it's one of the problems I have with Final Fantasy VII Plus is that they tend to be too big and it takes forever to do everything, especially if you're going for 100% completion. And as much as I love Final Fantasy VI, one of the reasons I like it and think it's perfect is that it's the extra length. You turn it into a chore, it stops being fun for me. But another thing is that there's a lot of stuff like that nerfing of abilities and stuff to try and make the game more balanced. But sometimes games don't really need it. You just gotta change the way you play.
You... alive?
Yep. And I've heard an argument from one player that, if you have something available, why wouldn't you use it? But he was speaking more in a context of a speedrun. He didn't like some of the things in... That was Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrunner BizKit047. He is talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 and not liking some of the things that they make too powerful in the game. And yeah, you cannot use those, but if you're speedrunning, you're going to want to beat it as fast as possible. You're going to have to use the fastest stuff. But if you're playing casually, you can always choose to ignore things that are powerful and try other stuff.
I need you to take me to the Priest of Light in Wendell.
That's one of the nice things about RPGs in general, is that it's a lot easier to do that.
I can't fly any further on my own.
Fine by me. Going to Wendell too. But Cascade Cavern. Can't get through right now.
I can get us through the barrier. But we need to hurry. Something has happened to the Sanctuary of Manna.
The Sanctuary of Manna? Wait. Ah! What happened? Was it Astoria? Gotta go back.
Oh, we need to get going. Let me rest inside you for a bit. You won't see me, but don't worry, I'm still here.
Oh, wait. What?
Don't delay. We must see to Astoria.
Ah, she's in my head? Ah!
Hurry!
On it.
So, why are you heading to Wendell?
Priest of Light can save Karl. Bring him back.
Oh, I see you haven't had an easy time yourself.
A lot of people hate Charlotte's voice acting in this game. I'm actually more bothered by Kevin's. The simple beast speech they give him, combined with the fact that he seems to talk so slowly with it, makes sitting through the dialogue with him seem like a drag. Just drag out time. One thing I kind of miss about the original that I'm sort of sad they changed in the remake is that item drops just happen, and you get item drops and they don't turn into chests that you have to open. I didn't like traps, you know, for the most part, but sometimes getting ogre boxes was fun because they could be worth a huge amount of EXP.
Where are the humans?
This looks like the work of beastmen.
Cowards.
There is no time to waste. We have to get to the Priest of Light as soon as possible. Wendell is in danger.
Oh, and now there are chests. That's right. As well as eventually a little cactus that we can get. I've always enjoyed renaming characters, so I probably would have liked it, yeah. I understand that when you have voice acting, it makes it a little bit, awkward in certain ways. Final Fantasy X, for instance, decided to let you rename Titus still, but because everything in the game was voice acted, it made Yuna's near end of journey acknowledging everyone remarks extremely awkward when she addressed Titus as star player of the Anarchand Aves. And then of course in Tactics War of the Lions they let you still rename Ramza just like you can in the original game, but the voiced cutscenes refer to him as Ramza no matter what you call him, and that gets a little awkward. So you have those situations, which makes things a little tough. You either have to avoid using names all the time, which is very possible. That's what BioWare has done on a lot of their games, and I think similar things too, like Bethesda and stuff, for character creation style games where it's necessary. But it is a little bit more awkward and requires more effort. Eventually we'll get voice replication software that gets to the point where you can name your character what you want, and they'll be able to digitally copy the voice to say those lines, perhaps, but...
I was on my way to Wendell, but there's something blocking off Cascade Cavern.
Oh, actually,
So, what's your business in Wendell?
Whoops, accidentally skipped his part where he says, "Oh, you have a fairy that can open it? Glad it's you and not me." I always forget that it does...
Oh, I'm Durant, a soldier from Volsana.
I especially am bothered by Kevin's thing, but all of the... Play through their past? No, I don't want to play through the past. He'll just explain it, and that's fine.
When I was doing my usual guard rounds at Castle Volsana,
But
wizard forced his way
all of them are slightly hesitant, so I end up skipping them. But yeah, there are a lot of times you can just have the name be in the subtitle. There's just certain things that are awkward, like if expressive people are introducing themselves, you can't exactly voice act that and just skip the name because it sounds silly. But otherwise, yeah, that's a good solution.
Me up and spat me out. Now I don't know what to do. I've lost every last bit of confidence.
Yeah.
He ain't seen the last of me. I'll show him. I'll show everyone that the way of the sword can be just as powerful as magic. Just like my dad always told me. Well, there's no way I can defeat that cursed wizard right now, though.
And that's very true. The easiest thing is to simply
Travel to Holy City Wendell to learn how to
skip the
speak
name.
class.
I kind of like having the name in subtitles but skipping it a little more than the solution some games go for, where they give you a title. Depending on what the title is and who your character is in the game story, it sometimes works to have a title used all the time instead. But it definitely feels a little silly when some of your characters get really close, especially in formats of...
So impatient. Give me a moment. I'll get rid of the barrier.
Do I have to advance that text? Some of the text you have to advance and some you don't. That's a small thing I don't like about the remake.
There. You should be fine now.
Like, all the text boxes are also voice acted. But they are what goes there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give the cactus ring to... Yeah, let's see. Which of these is the most defense? Ms. Poem's ring. Give you the cactus ring. Get rid of his defense entirely. Oh yeah, I killed the Black Rabbite, so I have the 0 MP. That's going on Charlotte. Let's see. Could give him an HP boost, which shouldn't be bad. Oh, base HP increased by... Okay, I do have the... So let's see. Angela's is probably 200. What was hers? That's Hawk's Chain. That's 50. Trader. Oh yeah, 200% to all allies CS when the battle starts. That's right. Angela Chain base magic attack increased by 50. Okay. Don't really need that for him though. I guess 200 HP is kind of just great. Do I have an HP regeneration? Okay, there's the recover MP, which is also broken. But unfortunately, this is mostly a physical attacking group, so those aren't going to be quite as useful. Healing on its effectiveness by 10%. On Qua chain ability. All allies stat decrease. Okay, there we are. 5% of HPMP for all allies after winning a battle. That's the one I really want. Yeah. It's definitely worth a buy in my opinion. Again, Trials of Mana was one of my favorite games when I was in high school, and we discovered the magic of emulation in high school, my best friend and I. So I was very excited for a new version of this, and
All by yourself, yes? That is hard.
I'm a soldier from Boltzana myself. Don't want to brag, but I'm pretty good with sword. The monsters around here aren't so tough.
Yes, we will work well together. Been on my own a long time. It's good to have a companion.
they did a pretty decent job of taking a game that was entirely 2D and adding a 3D element in little bits of running in little bits of cliffs and edges, jumping airborne enemies.
Just weak enemies.
Storyline wise, no. You always get your second character right here. The big difference is that there's an interesting thing where Charlotte joins you earlier if she's your third character. Otherwise, you always get your second character right here, and you get your third character once you've left the Holy City before you go to the next area. Always trying to kill it before it can get off its spores, but that doesn't really work well. Alright, this way then. It's up there. Okay, gotta go around through that way.
Alright, I'll clear your way. Leave it to me.
One down. Feel straight.
Let's see. Oh. Not as hard as I think it is to get to. There's something like on that ledge. Yeah, not really.
Let's take it out. Who does more damage?
One down. This is strict.
Yes, I do indeed. Yeah, I got distracted. So there isn't anything. When the characters are in the party, it really doesn't matter which is second or third, as to they don't really affect the story in any way based on their order that you pick them. The parts that are important to them, they will comment on, and they'll make a difference. Generally, the characters tend to be slightly closer or get more interaction with the character who is on the same quest, as it were. So Reese and Hawkeye, Angela and Duran, Charlotte and Kevin a little bit less. but because they have related enemies and stuff, they tend to have slightly more interactions regardless of it. But yeah, I remember that chain stun.
I'm a famous beauty from Wendell.
Danger is here. Go home. Okay?
But
I do like that they give you the option of playing the flashback if you really want to, learning how to play the character and stuff too, as well as seeing it in a bit more detail. So you don't necessarily have to play through. I'm skipping them because I'm extremely used to these opening storylines and stuff anyway from playing the original so much, but if you haven't played it much before and you want to experience the tutorials in their entirety without starting with all 6 different characters, you can do that.
And didn't tell Grandpa when I left the temple that night.
The stun lock was actually so well known that in the original, magic is actually really bad because most enemies, in order to the high level enemies, I should say, a lot of your endgame bosses and even a lot of endgame normal enemies, when hit by magic, in order to prevent any kind of a stun lock, they counter with party-wide super abilities. It's actually pretty painful.
I got a little lost on the way and fell down. If you hadn't been there, it would have been good night, Charlotte. That was close.
Fine. You can come with. On my way to Wendell to see the priest anyway.
Oh! You want to see Grandpa? Why didn't you say so? You didn't know it, but you helped your chances. I'm actually the granddaughter of the priest of light.
Yeah.
Come on, Swopo. I'll take you to my grandpa.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about the chain stun you do to bosses with magic. The lethal chain stun that enemies do to you. Yeah, that happens. No, the spores just put you to sleep, and really nice touch that he used. They did program that well, so even though I was asleep, he then used a follow-up sleep attack, but because I was already asleep, it just woke me up. Okay, what do we want to put on Shawit? I apologize. Okay. Gem ring. Okay. When did I get that? I must have picked it up from a chest and not even noticed. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm picking up. I'm going to put on Light Gazer's ring because we're going to be fighting a light boss as our next boss, so... Let's see. We're going to give her Obsidian Power. It's not going to matter for a little bit because she's not going to have magic to begin with, but... And I guess... Okay, let's, I'm just going to let them blow everybody up. I probably don't need to worry about, she's going to cost 0, so it doesn't even matter. I might switch to Duran a little bit, so... occasionally. Since we're doing fine, I'm also going to save most of my training until after we start getting elementals. Well, I guess that won't matter because you can still see what you would get regardless of if it would be granted or not. So like with her, she'll get her healing light, but she won't be able to just use it until after we get the spirit, so might as well go ahead and improve that. Then it'll come, because I can see that ahead of time. That's something I forget. Oops. Go and improve his strength to the max. No, I don't want to equip wound ability. There we are. Mostly the same. She's closer to a, if you want to be specific about clerics generally being heavier armor and weapons than just priests. Yeah, she's a little bit closer to that. Although, despite wielding a flail, she's still, along with Angela, one of the two very much not physical combat focused characters. The other four are all decent fighters. So in that sense, she's actually closer to a priest, despite being called cleric, but... let's see. 4 of 7 treasure boxes. I'll be coming back in here too, if I've missed them on other paths. The biggest thing Charlotte has going for her is that she's the best healer by far. In fact, these 3 characters are the only healers in the game. And Duran and Kevin only get their heal ability when they, if they class change to light. And it's usually only single target, plus not super effective. So if you really want a healer, you kind of have to go with Charlotte. That's, unfortunately, that super specialization makes the rest of what she can do slightly, undervalued. Or, oh, that's right. We have to use this thing. Boing. It's like, how do I get up there? Can't jump that high. Oh yeah, spring, whatever they are. Kind of depends, because of the fact that you have 6 different classes with different specializations, you have 5 things that really you can focus on in a fight. You could say 6.
Thank you so much for taking me here.
You can of course do physical attacks. There are elemental attacks you can do as well. You can buff the party stats. You can debuff the enemy stats. You can apply elemental weapons to your characters. And you can heal. And so all of those effects can be replicated by items that you can purchase. So, you know, and not just basic items like candy and chocolate that you might be used to, but there are actually items that emulate the healing light ability so that you can heal the whole party at once. So it's not actually necessary to have a healer. I mean, and especially since it has casting time, the Holy Light from Duran and Kevin is more an emergency thing than an actually useful benefit. Because, again, they can't heal the whole party at once unless I think Duran can if you go light eventually. But that's not until endgame. So it's Charlotte or bust, or just use Poto Oil if you want to do like party-wide healing. Duran is kind of cool because he's the, if you do make him a paladin, he gets to use a shield, which is pretty unique. He's the only character who gets additional equipment based on one of their class changes. We ought to go ahead and buy weapons and armor for at least me. I think the other two already have the base weapon. No, he doesn't. That's interesting. I forgot that. Yeah, that's true. They don't do that.
This is good quality.
Oh, good choice. Oh, good choice. Oh, good choice.
Your second and third characters start with the first set of equipment in the original game. So they actually always have Kevin be the second character because he'll start at higher level when you recruit him, and he'll have the first set of upgraded equipment already. But they don't do that in this one, which isn't a big deal, really. Doesn't matter.
Welcome. Lots of wares.
2 out of 3 for me.
Looks good.
My base party, the one I prefer, is Reese, Angela, and Hawkeye. Those have been my 3 favorite characters.
Come again.
And so that's a totally non-healing party, but those are the 3 that never learn healing abilities. So you just have to buy a lot of Poto oil in the black market. The one drawback to that is that you only have one place that you can buy the Poto oil, so it is something that has to be kept in mind. So let's go ahead and do our seeds. Only 10 at a time. Oh, luck serum. That's kind of nice. Ooh, vitality elixir, strength serum. Okay, now we're getting cool stuff.
Should work.
Whoops, that went to Duran. I wanted that on Charlotte. Oh well. Yeah, it's mostly, it is nice that the game teaches you to use them here, definitely, if you don't end up taking a healer along. You pretty much have to, so you get used to it. But you can also have a huge amount. You can carry up to 9 per battle that you can use, basically.
I think I'll wait out.
But then you can have a backpack full of 99 that you can keep backstocked.
Probably really mad.
So even in the original it had that. So yeah, it's pretty hard to, if you stock up entirely, it's pretty hard to run out of items. So normally you're only here with 2 characters, unless you make Charlotte your third. And then, of course, since she snuck out, she can't go in with you, but she'll rejoin as soon as we're done talking to the Priest of Light. Gotta be in this room. Yes, she does, which again is why a lot of people dislike her. it's... Although she's supposed to be like 15, she's a half-elf, so her development is a lot less. So she literally has the mind of like a 6 or 7-year-old child. She hasn't matured at all, so that's the reason for it. Okay, that's 4 of 4 treasure boxes, so... Considering this is a New Game Plus and I haven't even used or needed to use any items yet, it's pretty silly to be even collecting all the items, but whatever, I'm an item collector. Kind of annoyed that despite the fact that they give you a little bit of parkour ability, ability to do things, there are certain walls you can't jump over even onto a stair.
Please, accept the goddess of Manna's blessing.
Yeah, as I say, it doesn't bother me nearly as much.
Priest! Karl! Bring Karl back! Friend! He's my only friend! Karl, the wolf pup!
What is your name, son? I see. Listen well, Kevin. The gift of life comes with the inevitability of death. Nothing can replace a life lost, nor bring back a soul who is no longer with us. That is why the gift is so precious. But death is simply how new life begins. Though Karl cannot return.
Something that definitely wasn't in the original game, since you had a top-down view of pretty much everything, but yeah, the close third-person perspective over the shoulder with companions following means that depending on how you turn and move, they can jump into the screen when following you.
Keep the memory of him alive in your heart, young one. And someday Karl may be reborn into your life again. Do not give up hope.
No! This is the king's fault. Won't forgive him for what he did to Karl.
You're the priest of light, right? Tell me how to change my class. I need to be stronger now. Please.
Impossible. There is no way you could switch classes right now.
This was one of the very first older games to actually, in universe, you know, have classes and levels be something actually acknowledged by characters in universe.
First, you must gain enough experience through battle, then call upon a man.
They never say levels exactly, but they actually talk about, yeah, Duran is sent on his journey. He might have actually the, in a way, the silliest reason for journeying and traveling. Although the related crisis the kingdom is in, being attacked by the wizards, is a big deal. He personally got his butt kicked by the Red Wizard, the Crimson Wizard, during their scouting mission. And he's upset about it, and a fortune teller told him that if he wanted to get stronger, he should go to Wendell and learn about changing classes, and that could make him stronger, and so that's his whole deal to start with.
The Benevodons will be released into the world.
Yeah.
What?
You're acting like this doesn't affect you. You've been chosen by Fairy. This means that you alone can retrieve the Sword of Manna from the sanctuary.
What? Fairy? What's he talking about?
I'm sorry. With the mana in the world so depleted, a fairy can't leave the sanctuary for long without a host. If I hadn't found you, I wouldn't have made it.
But Fairy's better now, yeah? We made it to Wendell. You do not need me anymore, so go to the old man instead.
Would that I were able to bear your burden. However, once a fairy finds a host, They are bound to them for their whole life. Only death can part them.
Huh? Don't need a mana sword. I need revenge on the one who hurt Karl. Can't get distracted.
Kevin, I'm sure you already know you don't have the strength to defeat the King of Ferolia. Not with your power right now. But with the Sword of Manna, you would.
What? Stronger than the king? Really? But what is the Sword of Manna?
The Sword of Manna is the embodiment of the ancient power of mana, guiding force of spirits. It is an alternate form of the golden wand used to create the world itself. The one who holds the mana sword gains awesome power. The sword lies in the roots.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because it doesn't matter who your characters are here. A lot of the dialogue follows similar veins. All 6 of your characters, no matter how noble or selfish they are, act extremely selfish at this point, and so the fairy has to convince them to go for the Sword of Manna by promising that it can grant their wishes or the power to overcome the trials that they have, you know, save their kingdom, rescue their brother, save their girlfriend, whatever.
I can defeat the king?
All of that they need the sword for, but with its awesome power, of course, party never gets to utilize that.
Sanctuary of Mana.
I am so sorry.
It is one of the few things in the game that slightly bothers me is that a couple of these points where even though the characters specifically have different dialogue, they all treat the story in the same way, which is in a feels slightly out of character for most of them, if not all of them.
If you activate the Mana Stones, the portal connecting our world to the Sanctuary of Mana should appear. Through that portal...
If you get me something for lunch, I can take an early break.
You should know that the energy inside the 8 Mana Stones was sealed on purpose as the Mana Goddess began her slumber.
What do I do?
In ages past, there once was an ancient spell used...
And then in comparison to the first character always being super reluctant about carrying the fairy and doing any of this, the second character is always like, okay, I've been listening, but if I go with you, I might be able to solve my problem too, right? I'll help you out.
The war that followed caused unspeakable damage. It was nearly as destructive as the sealed benevolence. The survivors cursed the magic to avoid future tragedy and forbade anyone from using it. Now the life of any person who uses the spell will be forfeit. There is no longer anyone alive who knows how to work this cursed spell.
No hope?
There may be one way. If we borrow the powers of the elemental spirits that reside near the Mana Stones instead, I can combine their powers with what remains of mine to open the portal for everyone.
For everyone. Very important, that line.
This is a relief. If you wish to find a Mana Stone, I've heard many say that the Light Stone is in Cascade Cavern, guarded by the elemental Lumina. It is the cavern you pass through in order to reach here. Take Fairy. With what remains of her power, she can help you find Lumina.
I also find it very weird that they don't...
his light powers.
They always just refer to her as Fairy. She doesn't have a name, but they talk to... they call her Fairy as if that is her name.
Mana Goddess, grant my wish?
Certainly. You can become the world's strongest swordsman. Let's do this.
All right. Then I'm in.
Alright, now we go find the Elemental of Light.
Don't leave me behind. I need to save Heath. I'm coming with you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. It is a extremely weird thing. Now, it is true that they all have their own individual talents, and so, you know, Zoro needs to go find a place to train his swordsmanship, but that, you know, doesn't affect Luffy, who can't use swords. But, it's very weird that they decide that they have to totally separate to the different parts of the Grand Line to train each other and train themselves individually, but don't stick with each other. The only other times I've seen a separate training approach applied well is if somebody's doing a particular training for their power that is potentially dangerous to those around them. But they never go into detail of anything like that being possible, just... And One Piece is a huge friendship-based story, too. Okay. Before I go up to the cave, I need to search for all the items. Although some of the items are probably in areas that we haven't explored yet. Because we couldn't, because we have to go through. It's likely, yeah, Cascade Cavern, the treasure boxes are going to include all of those. Or maybe it's already got the effect of all the little cactuses, so I won't be finding them anyway, except for the one that's predetermined. Yeah.
There's mana power coming from the waterfall. See that strange hole? Further up. I bet Lumina is in there.
Of course, it's easier to follow that of keeping the, another small graphical thing I don't like. Fairy's ears look really weird. Yeah, now I have to go that way, so I've done everything I can do here. But in role-playing games like this, you generally want to keep the party together, so it's pretty easy to hand-wave reasons why they wouldn't separate. But yeah, I get what you're saying. There's still somebody alive? You haven't killed him yet?
Is that the hole? Fairy said we have to get there. But how do we do that?
Oh, right. I forgot you can't fly. I think I can use the residual mana power in the waterfall to get you over there. Let's give it a try.
This is strength.
Get out of my way!
Hard to say. Really depends on which characters I'm using and what their personalities are. I don't know, it's a little bit of a cop-out answer, but it's really hard for me to think about that without specifics.
Get out of my way before I break you! Properly in this cramped cavern.
Wee little edge. Like if I were doing something specifically with the Straw Hat crew in that situation, I might have them searching together for a place where they could obtain for stronger people and comparing notes on rumors. Alright, boss. If you don't have Charlotte as your third character, you're fighting this boss with only 2 characters. Not that Charlotte's a big help, like, in the sense of damage, but...
So why do I feel mana power coming off of it?
What? How can a monster have mana power?
Ugh, fight the monster first. Worry later. It's hurt. Time to strike.
The original game didn't have difficulty levels, but that's become more of a thing in recent times, so there are 4 base difficulty levels. And then I think there might be 2 more. There's at least 1 more I know is called No Future, which is ridiculously difficult, but I think there's one between hard and... Yeah, it's an effect that shows how it's hurt. Square sometimes like to do that with some of their games, to have some sort of change in some of the bosses. And so the first eye being destroyed shows that it's about halfway dead. Not really necessary in the remake since they give you the health bars, but they kept the effect.
Just like Fairy, we elementals need mana to live. I'll help however I can to make sure we save the mana of the world.
Lumina, where is the Lightstone?
It's straight up from here, deep within the old ruins. But you can't exactly get there from here. Oh, no. It's safe, though. For now, at least. It's so unstable. It seems like the Benevodon could be unsealed at any minute. We gotta get the rest of the elementals on board and open the portal to the sanctuary.
Huh? A crack? Here. Wait. Maybe a shortcut.
I don't mind those kind of hand waves either. When they give you an easy way out of the dungeon. Let's see, I found all 7 boxes, right? Yep. That's CS restoring, which really doesn't matter because I get max at the start of every fight. 200% at this point. So now Charlotte can use her healing magic. Let's see. Do I save up until I can class change and just increase his strength more? Kind of think I want to do that with both of these guys. Probably going to go dark with Kevin and definitely going to go light with Charlotte so she can be the focused healer. But I'm not quite sure with Duran yet if I want to make him more defensive or... Because again, his healing is supplemental anyway, so it wouldn't matter that he gets the healing, but it's the other things. The elemental sabers could be useful, but what should I do with her? Close call recovery. Don't really need any of these, but I'm going to leave all of them just at their main for now. Go ahead and get to the max, though, so she can get Twinkle Rain, although I think that requires water. Or is it light? It depends on if there's a lock on it. Not a lock on it, so it is light. Okay, so she has that, too. So she can unpoison or sleep us if she needs to. Haven't saved in a little while. Let's go ahead and save. Haven't saved since I got my party members. I remember very early when the remake first came out, you had to hold down the whatever you designate as the run button, usually the left stick, in order to actually sprint. Now it's an activation, you click once. Which I kind of think doesn't even need to be. They just should have your fast movement by default, because there's no reason to go slow. I haven't done the 4th class enough. I know that it's the same regardless of what you've done, but I'm pretty sure that it doesn't give you all the abilities that your previous class had. I think because it is a single class, it gives you the same bonus abilities, which are kind of determined by your class. Again, I haven't studied it, nor have I won enough games to compare to figure out. But I know it doesn't like give. All of a sudden, I had all of I didn't have all of Hawkeye's light class abilities or all of Reese's light class abilities. Just had new abilities based on their previous class. So even if it's the same, it doesn't render the old decisions moot. No.
To take the Sword of Manna and awaken our goddess. Let us ask the Priest of Light for guidance. We must not delay any longer. Let's go!
I have no regret for that.
I cannot continue. What do you mean?
Kind of a nice little touch that the fairies all have different colored hair and slightly different colored dresses.
I can't make it to the other realm.
They were all identical sprites in the SNES, which makes sense. They're characters who all bow out once you're through with this cutscene. I can't go on anymore. I leave it to you. Each one at a time. Wonderful.
I cannot continue either. Please go on.
So no need to make them special in any way.
Find our hero and save It's the mana tree.
They were running that low on power that more than one of them can't even make the trip. They really should have gotten started earlier, I think. But whatever. And like many Square games of the era, there's a whole lot of nice job breaking it hero involved.
Wait, where?
Let me out! Will you keep quiet?
Who? Tell me. Where is this?
This place is the Jad Stronghold. And I'm Angela. Nice to meet you. Looks like you got caught by the Beastmen, too. I am fed up with them.
If you didn't select Charlotte as your third character, whoever your third character is will be the character here in the cell. And this is where they join you.
Just sit tight for a moment.
But because your third character is supposed to get you out, they have to have a fourth character do the distraction jailbreak segment.
Oh no! Oh dear!
You're about to see it.
Help me, sir! Can't get these laces untied, and I need to change my clothes. Please, come a little closer.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, usual traditional JRPG jail cell, they lock us up and leave us with all of our weapons, because that's always a smart idea.
Please. Not my fault you fell for that. Loser. Sorry to keep you waiting. Shall we go? Excuse you, that wasn't an invitation. Head to the docks. There's a boat you can take to leave town. Now, shoot. The Beastmen forces are distracted now that they're attacking Wendell. We can catch that boat before it sets sail. The townsfolk were talking about it. Before you leave, you should really stop at that mana statue to heal your wounds. I have to go, but good luck escaping. Maybe we'll meet again.
They left that dialogue in because when you're beat up and you wake up, you're supposed to be at 1 HP. Let's see, there's... Oh, the switch opens that door. That's right. And so that suggested is, yeah, don't ignore the fact you're at 1 HP, heal yourself up. But it's actually unnecessary in the remake because they go ahead and start you at max HP. Okay, I have to find another lock switch to open that. Where is that switch? That's one thing it doesn't highlight for you on the map. A lot of these doors are closed too. Let's see. It's on one of these walls somewhere. Oh, is it just right here? Little footprints on the map showing where you last were in case you get turned around. Okay, that opens one door, but not the right door. Oh, one further behind there. Okay.
Getting good at this.
There we are. There's the door I wanted to open. Must get chests, even though they're pointless because I have all the items I could ever want. Let's see. Yeah.
Out of my way before I break you.
It's just getting started.
Let's take it out. Sword does more damage. I can't get enough of this power.
Okay. Oh, up here. That's where the chest is at. All right. Yep. Yeah, this is one of the things I don't like. There's some ledges you can't jump over even though there's ground underneath. It's like, why? That waist-high fence looks very much like I can jump over it, so why won't it let me? But yeah, I like New Game Pluses where you can continue on. And with multiple difficulty levels, you can increase it so it still can be challenging, perhaps. Although I'm leveling so much, it might take a while before it gets too challenging, but... Or it might never be, we'll see. Overall, the game has a decent difficulty curve, though, as it's shown. With the bonuses I have, even though this is a harder difficulty, I'm not having any trouble dealing with these lower level enemies. There's a treasure box somewhere I haven't found. Must be in a room somewhere I haven't bothered to look at. Oh, he's not actually going to fight me. That's weird. Yeah, I'll be able to return later. I'll worry about the chest some other time. I feel like I'm missing it.
Get aboard, quick. We're setting sail.
Wait! Angela isn't here. Wait, please. Wait for her.
Sorry, we have to cast off now. All aboard!
No, wait! Stop the boat! Ugh, don't believe this.
It's pretty neat. Oh, there it is. It's on the docks here. That's why I couldn't find it. You can see it there in the cutscene. That's hilarious. Alright, well, I know where that chest is. Will I even remember it by the time I come back here? We'll find out. It is pretty interesting, too, that you do get to meet the rest of the characters you didn't recruit at various points. Some of them a little more than others.
We have to get to Maya and find the rest of the elementals.
And if you don't recruit Charlotte as your third, of course, you get, at that moment there, before the fairies' dialogue, or in place of the fairies' dialogue, you get the third character giving their flashback to how they got where they are. And they arrived in Wendell shortly after you did, and were sent by the Priest of Light to follow you because you're the only chance for granting whatever crazy wishes they have. It's been a while, so I don't rightly remember. I think they felt overall a little easier than they did in the original, although that might be because the additional content and additional classes made them easier, and if I'd skipped them, they would have been harder. But again, it's been more than 2 years, so... Or about 2 years, not quite more than. But it's been about 2 years, so I don't remember the difficulty of the bosses too much. Pretty neat that your party splits up in town, and so you can go and talk to them for advice or other things. see how they interact with the town and their feelings about it.
Yes, hello? I am Bon Voyage, and you are? Oh, never mind. It hardly matters. You simply must see my...
But the party is instantly gathered for important cutscenes. Wait in my backyard, yeah.
You want to know what this is, right? Right? Just wait. There's only one easy way to Volsena from Maya, and that's the bridge. It's down a treacherous golden road, and it's full of monsters.
Yeah, same. I hadn't heard about Star Ocean until I started checking out speedruns and stuff and learning about a lot more RPGs.
Behold! With my new deluxe super cannon, you can reach it in one blast! It's the latest model, and I'm almost done. So, what do you think?
One thing I love about both Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana is the canon travel. I don't know how many of the other Mana games they implemented it, but I find it quite hilarious. You're looking for Mana Stones, huh? I'd reckon His Majesty, the Hero King of Valsena, knows a thing or two. Gonna need a lot more experience if I want to change my class. Time to start training. Yeah, you do that. I think I forgot to buy armor. I was looking at it, but I don't know that I ever bought it. Weapons first, though. Nope, just the same weapons. Thought so, but it's always worth checking. Are you the item?
Welcome.
Yep.
Come again.
Wasn't paying real attention. I kind of get annoyed that Indoors doesn't have the maps, so generally I guess they're considered minor enough that you shouldn't need a map for this room, but having the symbols on the map I rely on, and then all of a sudden, oh, nope, not there. Okay.
This is good quality.
Ooh, exciting.
I may have bought just one bandana and then gone out. Okay.
Come again.
So no improvement to armor, interestingly.
We all escaped Jag, but I heard rumors before we left that the Priest of Light risked his life to put a barrier around Wendell to repel the Beastmen. It made His Eminence fall so dangerously ill. He collapsed. They say a young priest named Heath is the only one in Wendell who can cure the deadly sickness. But no one knows where he is. This could be bad.
What? No, not Grandpa. This is bad. I have to go back.
No, Charlotte. Can't go back to Jad. We get the Sword of Manna and find Heath. Then we can save your grandpa. Best plan to save everyone.
Random wandering NPC wandering through the cutscene. That's great. Oh, there's a chest I didn't bother to get down here. Kick. Spring steppers, that's right, that's what they call those yellow things.
I wouldn't go back to Volsena until I defeated that Crimson Wizard. Now I gotta go back without even changing my class.
Hey, you haven't seen a weird cactus thing around here, have you? I've been looking all over for it. People say that good things happen when you talk to the cactus, but he's shy. He doesn't stay in one place for long. Hey, you're traveling, right? Keep an eye out for that little cactus. And then you finally meet your first little cactus in this road, and you can get the rest. But they maintain little cactus progress throughout New Game Plus playthroughs, so I don't have to look for little cactus anymore. I already found them all. Gotta find them all. Little Cactus is from one of the later Mana games that I never played. I believe they first introduced him, and he's become one of the mascot characters of the Mana series. So not surprising that they decided to add him to the remake here. Overall, the difficulty of the 3D remake is actually a lot. It's a lot easier. Oh no, I missed that. Continued on too much. Just a little sparkly thing, but I want to grab it because it's a little bit of a jump. Yeah, one of those. But in general, the difficulty, this is where the difficulty ramps up in the original game, because these Choban hoods have a tendency to use their dart ability, which in the 3D action remake, they've made it an AoE that you can dodge. But many of your abilities in the... that's just a CS pot. I don't need that at all. But in the original game, most of your abilities were spell-like abilities that could never miss. They'd freeze the game while it happened, including the dart throw. And dart did a pretty absurd amount of damage compared to every other attack in the game. And so this was your first introduction to enemies that would deal out punishing, devastating attacks.
Come on, I can handle anything. That's what I call power.
Yeah, I think I've seen that in Legend of Mana speedruns. Or maybe a playthrough I watched somebody do. That's where you can... Oh, I was going down to get a... that's right, to get a chest up there. That's back around.
This one is so annoying.
One thing I definitely don't miss from older role-playing games especially was lack of maps and things. In-game maps are now pretty much common, and so they're one of the biggest changes to like remastered old games like the Pixel Remaster, which otherwise tried to do a pretty faithful job of recreating the base game, but a lot of like secret passages and stuff that you had to wander around for in crazy ways in the original game are now kind of given away because of being in just because of the access to maps and stuff, but I greatly prefer being able to tell my direction. So that was where you would have gotten your first little cactus if I hadn't already gotten them all. Okay, that road goes to the trading city. Can't remember what it's called right now. It's been too long. Which is actually where we're supposed to go next. But, well, it's the next place we can go because our journey through here to get to Valsina gets interrupted. Yeah. And that was a weird thing about the original Trials of Mana, was that because spells were so powerful, they gave the solution of having a lot of high-level enemies counter with their own super most powerful spells and such when when you used it on them. So it actually made characters like Angela more of a detriment sometimes if you got too many of the powerful ones, because she'd use a spell and nearly kill all the enemies, and then they would all respond by doing time freezing, screen wide, hit all three characters, super attacks, and suddenly you wipe. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I'm sure there were a lot of people back in the old block-based traveling very old games, you know, the old Might and Magics and Wizardry and such. The exploration of drawing your own maps was probably kind of fun for them, but in our day and age, the games were also a whole lot smaller too, but if you're trying to map out games the size of which they make now, that would take way too long. In our information age, we're a little bit too used to being able to pull up those kinds of things easily.
Who goes there?
A Valsanian soldier! You think you can walk away from us unscathed? Never!
But back to that time freeze AoE attack thing, it was, although it was considered a...
The scary lady looks angry.
Silence you. You are all enemies of the kingdom. Hey! Bring out those magic devices!
One of the nice little changes to this part of the story is if Angela's present, they recognize her and say that they have orders to kill her. Otherwise, it's just, oh, you're obviously enemies of the kingdom. But yeah, even though it was real-time movement around, it wasn't really much of an action game, honestly. Neither of the Super Nintendo Mana games. But they definitely made it more action-y in this by adding dodges, jumps, and AoE abilities. I like the fact that they put the targeting reticules on the ground so you know where you can safely stand. Makes it a little bit fairer. And encourages learning to dodge roll the attacks. It's actually, in some ways, kind of amazing what they kept with the suggestive design of the game. You know, they kept most of the dialogue almost exact even when it doesn't apply as much, so no surprise that they didn't try to censor Angela's seduction, fake seduction to get the Beastman to open her cage, because they don't adjust any of the artwork either. The slightly fan servicey outfits and the small cartoony pixelation on the Super Nintendo mean almost nothing, but they all look a whole lot more fan servicey when you've got clearer 3D models.
Gotta find another way to Valsena. Is there water?
It's interesting they teleported us here.
I can swim.
Yeah, you can swim, Kevin, but the rest of the party can't.
What? The bridge is down? Oh, I see. Well, have no fear. With my Hyper Deluxe Super Cannon version 2, I can fix all your problems.
You renamed it?
Oh, never mind that. You need to come into my backyard again. Lickety split.
I don't know why, but I love the fact that you can mid-air dodge roll in this game, jump into a dodge roll for whatever silly reason. Easily amused by it.
Oh. I got so caught up in making this that I plumb forgot about ignition fuel. Nitromite! I need nitromite to fire this up. Think you can grab some for me? I've got too much work left on.
Hooray for old RPG fetch quests.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. How are we supposed to get that?
We should ask people.
Ask people, yes. That's the solution in these games. If I remember right, you didn't actually have to ask anybody, or maybe talk to one or two people, I can't remember, but here they have it. Pretty sure dwarfs use that stuff in the mines to dig tunnels. But having specific people to talk to is definitely alright, and they tell you who it is. Oh, the Dwarf Village. There's a secret entrance in Stone Split Gap just before the bridge. That's all I know.
Dwarfs in Stone Split Gap. Don't worry. I can sniff them out.
TV not working? Yeah, my thing's doing fine. I haven't even dropped any frames at all. I didn't mind the Sword of Manna 3D remake, but a lot of people are disappointed that it adhered too closely to the original game design and mechanics and changed almost nothing. But the redesign they did for Trials of Mana overall and pretty much all of its functioning was very well done. The fact that you open up battles and then have an area you can escape from if you want to just run away works pretty well. Holy cow, I'm already up to 17. I gained a lot of levels from the golems, obviously. Oh, nighttime. Just means I'm stronger. Yeah, a lot of those old text-based games like Ultima 2, to learn things, you had to ask specific stuff and type it all in. Was one of the interesting things about Final Fantasy II was that they tried to implement a more interactive quest-based communication system in that manner by giving you keywords and requiring you to use the keywords with certain people, but was still on the rather obtuse side if you didn't have a guide of who you were supposed to talk to about what in order to activate your quests. But those ones where you, the old Western RPGs, like the old Elder Scrolls Daggerfall and the old Ultima, trying to know those specific phrases you need to type in.
Finally get to work out. See this wall here? It's actually an illusion made with refracted light. Cool, huh? You know, they used to call this place Gem Valley.
Yeah, Final Fantasy II had a lot of wacky stuff implemented in it compared to the rest of the Final Fantasy series. You know, why the argument of later games not being real Final Fantasies because they're different doesn't hold much, because Square has been doing different things with every Final Fantasy since the very beginning.
Here's what the entrance to Dwarf.
Though it still had a lot of the same stuff, like random battles, and the world map was mostly the same as the first several Final Fantasies and all that. Pardon me. But the character growth system was entirely unique, being a effort-based rather than actual experience-based. Doing things increased your stats and your weapon skills and magic skills. Similar to what they would do in Secret of Mana in the weapon, and although it was just using, not having to get kills with weapons. But they also had that more interactive character function that they never had in any other Final Fantasy. Until maybe 15, which is almost more in single-player MMO than a regular JRPG. From what I remember seeing of it. Thank you. For some reason, Gesundheit is something that we're actually aware of as a German expression for that here in America, but nobody knows that what Gesundheit means, just that it is used in place of bless you. I found that out while I was in Switzerland from an ad board and found out that Gesundheit means health. I was actually pretty impressed by that. What do I want to do? Oh, I want to buy weapons. That's what I want to do.
Well, all these wares are good picks. That's good.
Yeah, I do. I hadn't even bothered looking at my money, but yeah, I've got the 300,000 from my New Game Plus as well.
Come again. Well, all these wares are good picks. This is good quality.
Use this.
Ooh, exciting.
Come again.
How do I get up there again? I think I have to go through... Actually, the inn. The inn is the, way up, I think. Or the inn is up there. I'm remembering that the inn has something to do with that upper level. Now, how do we get there? Through here. Nope, it's the lower level, not the upper level. I misremembered. But I found it. Have I found any interesting item seeds? 5 regular ones. We'll just go ahead and plant them. Harpato Claw, which applies one of the elemental effects when used as an item. It's like casting... Can't remember which one, but it would be Ice Saber or Fire Saber or something. Earth Coin casts the basic Earth Attack Magic Gem Missile. No, that's where I wanted to go. That's the guy I need to talk to. Why is I turning around?
Yeah, watch the shopkeeper. Done got a job to do. The tunnel's a mess further in. Ooh-wee, let me tell you. Well, there's a lot of monsters, so you should buy some items first. I am minding the shop. Well, on that note, welcome.
I really hate games that have people beg you to buy, or even worse, you know, if you look but don't buy anything, they call you a cheapskate. Makes me feel so bad, but especially when money's limited, what are you going to do sometimes?
Well, it's further down the tunnel. Give me a sec. I'll make a path for you.
And it's a common trope, but it always bothers me when you have characters who travel outside the lines in ways you're not able to. Like, this wall is here to prevent you from going until you know what objective you have, so you have to talk to people before he can break it open. But how did Watts get past? Did it collapse behind him? You know, there's never an explanation for that. Even as early as Final Fantasy IV, you go through the Village of Mist, you burn the village down accidentally, you travel across the desert, and then you find Rosa is lying deathly ill in one of the houses. People have taken her in. It's like, how on earth did she get here? The only path to get through here is through the mist cave that we went through, which is now sealed off because of Rydia's Titan effect. But how did Rosa get across the mountains? They never explained that. Especially since they've had her for a couple of days and she somehow arrived before you. Like, what? Seriously? Neat little effect, you can break these open. Now, the interesting thing about the, as I was testing there, more than anything, the Black Rabbite special bond I got for beating that in my first game makes her, all of her spells cost 0 MP in battle. However, it doesn't work out of battle. He's gonna run off, so this is fine.
Yeah, I'm Watts. Who's asking? Oh, you want nitromite? I got some here. It'll cost you.
This is one of the more interesting types of required item situations in
Take your nitromite. Oh, wait.
in JRPGs, because this is in the original too. It's very hard to get 5,000 loot by this point. This is not a game where you earn a lot of money. Even a couple hundred to buy the equipment is hard to gather just from wandering around fighting. So grinding out 5,000 lucre for the nitromite is really rough. Of course, it's not actually required. You're expected not to have that, but if you happen to, rather than something else coming up, he lets you go ahead and buy it now. Of course, the problem is you don't get it for free later. But here they made it so you get, if you do buy it, you get this chain ability. So you get something for spending your money. Because you don't get a refund later when he would give it to you for free after you've rescued him and Gnome.
Let's catch up to Watts and figure this out before we go to Valsena. I have a bad feeling that I just can't shake.
This could be over quick.
One down.
Yep. I always check things like that too, because I'm a one of the talents I have for playing RPGs is an intense ability to grind when I have a goal to do it for. I'm very good at having patience for those kinds of things. So I would do things like grind in order to buy the superior sword from Melchior at the fair at the beginning of Chrono Trigger. I would often grind out the 5,000 Luke required to buy the Nitromite here just to see what would happen. I always found Final Fantasy V to be ridiculously easy because I was obsessed with grinding out all the jobs and all the characters as soon as I had them, and had an even decent place that I could grind ability points at. So by the time you unlock all of the Earth abilities and get your full party back together in the middle of the game, and you're, except for Mimic, not getting any other classes in the game, I'm already 50th level. And so at that point, the rest of the game is a bit of a joke. Did it similarly in the original of this game too, because you can't do your class change in the original game until you're level 18. And there's a big gap between when you find your first Mana Stone and you find your second one. So if you level up with the enemies, generally, you'd actually be about level 24 before you would really have the opportunity to class change if you don't do it at the Wind Crystal. The first one that you have the opportunity for. So following the advice of the first guide I read on it, I found I would always grind up to level 18 in that area against level 10 to 12 enemies so that I could class change all my characters at the first opportunity. It's one of the things that makes this such a great remake is that they identified most of the things that were bad about the original game and fixed them while keeping pretty much the same flavor and the same storyline. As I say, some of the dialogue that was intended for gameplay purposes that doesn't apply anymore feels a little silly, but I'd definitely rather have all those gameplay changes made in the first place anyway, so. That's right, I need to charge power attacks to break those shields. I always forget about that. Okay, looks like I need to get up there to get across to get that chest. Right, so this way.
Easy enemy, easy win.
I can't get enough of this power. I could win this with my eyes closed.
One down.
What can I say?
There.
Run! Beastmen don't use money. What's a buy?
Yeah, but those points where they actually do allow you to do it regardless are interesting. I'm gonna... Now what I ought to do is just go ahead and have her, whoops. Since she wouldn't do it in combat, even though she's supposed to.
Where'd this hole come from?
I think it's a lot less common, but that was a... That makes sense. That's really good design from those guys. That was a pretty common trope back in old RPGs like that. They'd have something for ridiculous amounts of money, either as a plot point or just an Easter egg that you can't possibly afford. Oh, he already used his up, huh? Come on.
Everyone doing all right? Whew. So that's the legendary subterranean monster Jewel Eater. Well, I'll be. Oh, the tunnel entrance you know as Stone Split Gap, we call Gem Valley.
It would be a lot tougher if I weren't level 20 already.
In the valley once every 1,000 years. Oh,
But like I was talking about the class change at the Wind Crystal, the game itself actually does... I'm beyond that now, already at level 20, but the game rebalances the experience, so it can be expected to rather easily get to level 18 by the time you get the Wind Crystal. They just did so much to improve all of the things about it that were a little bit on the weird side. Make it pretty seamless, real-time without lagging down while still having access to ring menu-like abilities.
Dug a burrow straight through my bed. If I hadn't woken up, I'd have been that monster's lunch.
Ooh, that ain't nothing to laugh about.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how difficult things get if my 300% experience is going to keep me high enough that I don't have to worry too much, or if enemies are going to start killing me if I don't start paying better attention with and using items and healing spells.
With the power of the elementals, we can open the portal to the Sanctuary of Mana. Please?
Well, I ain't one to turn down a request from an upstanding lady like yourself. Leave it to me, miss.
Alright, since my sister needs my assistance, I'm probably going to go ahead and take a good break here. It's a good place to take a break, I think, in the next golden statue, which should be nearby. Samples of magic, but none of us have access to it yet because we haven't changed class, and the only spells she gets until she changes class are the Healing Light and Twinkle Rain.
Well, I'll be. You guys are friends with the great and powerful gnome.
For people who like extreme difficulty as well, the no future is supposed to be ridiculously terrible difficulty. It's like Dark Souls level, although faster paced.
You all take care now. Oh, give my regards to Gnome.
Even in the original, they did have a decent amount of ways of dealing with the long dungeons and stuff, like right here. That's from the original too. He gives you the opportunity to use the magic rope back to the Dwarf Village, or you can choose to fight your way out if you want to gain more experience or anything for whatever reason. So that's a nice little thing they kept in. I'm getting plenty of experience, of course, especially since I'm not bothering to run from battles, so... Alrighty. But anyway, that'll do it for this morning stream. It might be a little bit, since I'm going to be helping out my sister, but probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll get back on for my afternoon stream. Till then, y'all take care, and I will see you next time.